Yeah, so basically just thinking, eating, your, your basic day-to-day activities require calories, like just eating, just breathing. It takes amount of a level of calories. Just thinking, breathing, eating, the casual, everything that you do in your body system, even to consume, even to digest the calories, the food that you take. Also, your body needs calories to do that, right? So, and anytime that you take in food, it gives your body energy to be able to carry out those daily activities. And anytime you overeat, or in this time you give it so much food that it derives a lot of calories more than what it needs for that day, the excess is now stored as fat. So but anytime you eat less than that day's energy worth of calories, so let's say I'm just assigning value because the average human consumes around 2,000 calories per day, right? So it will be a bit lesser if you're a guy, but if you're a girl, but the average man is about 2,200 calories per day, while for the average lady it is somewhere less than that. It will be around 1,800 calories per day. So assuming it's 2,200 calories per day, therefore if the total amount of energy that you derive from the food that you eat is about, let's say, 2,500 calories per day. Mind you, this would, day by day, it will vary based on your activity for that day. Using your physical, how much thought process how much brain power did you use, how much physical activities did you go through, how much your body used to digest the food that you took in. All those things can affect how much calories you use during that day. So all those things can affect your daily calorie consumption. So there are two ways to be in it. So that's why we have a lot about being in a calorie deficit. So that calorie deficit is more or less talking about you cutting down your intake of calories so that to give your body time to now utilize the excess that it already has, right? So it's to stop the accumulation of fat, stop the accumulation of excess calories in your body that is being stored as fat, right? So that's the only way you can go about it. So well, technically that's not the only way. There are two ways actually. The first way is actually to increase your total calorie consumption per day. So in other words, let's say you normally need, let's say on a normal daily basis you take about 3,000 calories per day. So if you don't want to reduce the number of food you take, you have to now increase the number of calories you utilize. I'll not say burn, I'll just say utilize. So you have to increase the number of calories your body can utilize in that day, and it's not really that easy per se, because it depends on, because you need a whole lot of physical activity to be able to close that kind of gap. Physical activity, you also need to actually do a lot of brain power, because our brains too also consume a lot of calories. Our brains is like a calorie eating machine. So you also have to put in a lot of thought process. ICS, I've seen it on, I can't remember where online, but I've seen it online where chess players actually consume a lot of calories just by putting their brain to work to assimilate the movement and strategy and patterns all over on the chessboard games. So that can also be a factor. So it's either you increase your calorie per day or you reduce your calorie consumption per day. So now that you already have those two ways, how do you calculate, how do you know when you're in a calorie deficit? So usually the first sign people would get is more or less like hunger. So if you are in a calorie deficit, you would normally be more hungry. Like the signs will start coming in, like you start getting hungrier. You be in a more relaxed state, because it won't be, your body is now trying to like ration what it has. So you'll be, like me personally, I feel more sleepy, especially if I go for too long, I'll be a bit more sleepy. What else again? Yeah, those are my basic signs though: hunger and way more sleepy. So, but how do you know how much calories you should take in, and like how deep in a calorie deficit are you, or if you're even in a calorie deficit at all? Because you can be hungry, you can be showing hunger signs, you can be feeling sleepy and all that, but you still not be in the calorie deficit. And I have to say that it's kind of difficult to do if you don't have a way of tracking calories, because especially if you're not planning on tracking your calories and all that, so it's going to be very difficult if you're not planning on tracking your calories. But if you're someone that already eats a lot of meals, let's say like 3 square meals a day, just by reducing the number of meals you eat from 3 square meals a day to 2 square meals again, then continuously now reducing it to 1 square meal a day, naturally would reduce you're naturally reducing the number of calories you take in, right? So just by doing that alone, you're already reducing the number of calories you take in. You might not know by how much, but you get more or less a sign that you are reducing the calorie consumption just by eating less. Yeah, simply just reducing the number of calories that you take in, right? So that's why people, so if you're going all out, you shouldn't just, it's not really recommended to just stop fasting. I mean, you should just start fasting like straight out the bat, especially if you're used to eating 3 square meals and snacking like in between each meals. So you more or less like take some time, slowly adjust to the fasting. Maybe this week you try just taking 2 square meals again with no snacks. Then maybe next week or a week, once your body is starting to get used to it, then you now go to 1 square meal. So it's a gradual process, and as you reduce the number of calories you are taking to your body, naturally you will not know when, but you suddenly realize that you've lost some weight and you started to be in a calorie deficit. I hope that helps, guys. So comment down below if you have any questions. I'll see if I can handle them. Till next time, I'll see you in the zone.